YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list of the new pack day. I think Rescue Ace is probably the new best deck. And with that said, does this look like a Rescue Ace versus Rescue Ace matchup? Probably. I'm not sure if Victinium is on Snake Eye, but with that said, thank you for watching the video as long as you can. That greatly supports this, even if you have this on in the background. Hajime!
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Air Lifter, lift off, chain the fire engine to summon alongside your Rescue Ace monster being summoned. We have Victinium on Pure Snake Eyes, thank you for that information. Searching for our emergency to summon a Rescue Ace in the deck to then send a Rescue Ace from our hand or field to the grave. Hydrant is untargetable while there's another Rescue Ace in the field, searching for our Turbulence, as we then make a Little Knight to help dodge Impermanence. So you're gonna see this right here, right now. How do we use Impermanence? Double animation, ain't no way. If you Imperm early, they're gonna make Promethean, Reborn, Turbulence, and activate anyway. If you wait with the Impermanence for the activation of Turbulence, they're gonna chain Little Knight to dodge the Impermanence. This right here is why Rescue Ace is what I believe to be the new best deck. This exactly. So let's go. Get ready. We do it early. Okay, that's fine. Promethean, Reborn, activate. Just like that. The Little Knight forces the early activation. Bonfire activating. We're not Ash in the Bonfire, but we have Ash, we have Super Poly, we have Contain to negate, we have Extinguish to get poppin', we have Rescue to rescue the Preventer to then flip a monster on the field face down. We also have Promethean Princess. This is 6 disruptions. Let's go. We have Finger for the Rescue, we have Finger for Promethean. Ash negate, the 1-for-1. Now we're gonna use Called By on that Ash to negate the negate. Finger the Fool. Negate. So now we have 5 disruption. Super Poly, Preventer, Contain, Extinguish, and Promethean. We could Finger the Promethean. Contain, containing the Ash from activating to add a Poplar. Also containing it from using it with the extra deck. Also containing it from using its effect to summon from the deck. It got super screwed. There's like a triple negate on that Ash. We now have 4 disruption. Oak Reborn from the grave. We're going to be triggering our Promethean Princess, which we have the Finger for. Finger the Princess. Negate. We're going to chain Rescue to steal the opponent's Poplar instead of reborning our own Preventer. Okay. So we instead have just Super Poly and Extinguish as our only forms of disruption. But if they activate a monster on the field, we could chain Impulse to summon Preventer from the deck, giving us that other form of disruption, but then we lose Super Poly. We need something to discard. When do we Poly? Oh, there you go. We have a card to discard, and we could use Impulse. Perfect. Impulse, chain, summon Preventer. So we have Extinguish, we have Super Poly, we have Preventer. Triple disruption. Very well done. Poplar from the deck, Poplar activate, grabbing ourselves a Divine Temple. We're going to Extinguish, destroy the Poplar. Poplar also can't activate for the rest of the turn. I mean, it's like the deck's on another level now, right? The SP Little Knight protecting the Turbulence from the Impermanence. What do you do? What do you do? So we thought Elf would be banned because of Little Knight, but Little Knight pretty much banned Elf already. Ending on Little Knight as our only real public disruption. But beyond that, we do have Imperm, we have Droplet, we have Ash, and we have Little Knight. 4 disruptive plays. Let's go. Now, the Droplet's gonna have to be used quite interestingly. I think we'll have to like Imperm, chain Droplet, send Imperm to the graveyard to get a double disruption out of it. So it's about like 3 to 4 disruption. Chain, banish Airlifter. Now, Airlifter could dodge the Little Knight by chaining to the Little Knight to summon a Turbulence, but then the Little Knight stays in the field, which is now making it usable for the Droplet. Oh boy. Interesting plays going on. We dodging. Come forth. Turbulence. And we now have Ash, Imperm, Droplet. activating the Turbulence, Imperm, negate. You thought with the finger you were safe, but you have an Emergency. Now, Emergency does dodge the Impermanence, but we have Ash to stop you from dodging the Impermanence. We also have a Droplet which could be chained to the Emergency to still negate the Turbulence. So what do? We got options. If we Ash, we called by, then we chain Droplet. I would like to see that, please. Ash it, yes, yes, finger it, let's go, yes, yes, Droplet it, let's go, negate the Turbulence with Droplet, mate. Chain Link 6. Negate. Now, what do we summon for the deck here? Do we just get Preventin, whip out Preventer, kill the Little Knight? She can't activate again, she's stuck on the field. And then Fictinium is a problem. We have an original Sinful in the grave, though. So if we could, we should probably try to Little Knight banish the original Sinful from the opponent's graveyard. Would that be the play? Linkuriboh, Preventer get banished, and Turbulence already activated this turn, so we're not going to do it again. Little Knight, banish the original Sinful. Is that not the play, or is that the play? Yep, exactly what I said. Very well done. Delete the follow-up play. Preventer, Reborn, the Turbulence, which had already activated. And we're still in main phase 1. Boom. Little Knight gone, and Fictinium's now playing off the top of the deck. Dark, steal the opponent's Little Knight. I mentioned this earlier. If you use the opponent's Little Knight to banish itself plus an opponent's monster, the Little Knight will come back to your field during the end phase. It's your monster. You are under control. It's not temporary control. This is our permanent control. But we're not doing that anyway. We're making an Apollo double negate. So if you top deck an Ash, you're now screwed. You got Imperm, though. Okay. Hold the Imperm. We could battle phase, drop the Apollo down to 0 if Anderson believes that they have lethal off of this. Nah, we out. Fictinium, you're top tier, you know it, I appreciate you, thank you. Is Rescue Ace better than Snake Eyes? I don't know, what's going on here? We are sending to summon the Diablo Star, equip into the back row our original Sinful. We're now gonna max C, playing around a Gamma, setting up the Divine Temple, setting up the Oak, Ash on summon, add from the deck an Ash, as we then link this up into our Masquerena. And just like that, we're done. So how is this disruption? If the opponent summons, that will trigger the field spell to summon the Oak. We could then link off with the Masquerena. So we really can't threaten the Masquerena without triggering the field spell unless we deal with the field spell specifically. So thus, we have about 2 disruption through the Imperm and Masquerena. Imperm, the Masquerena. Now we don't have Masquerena, we just have Imperm. Airlifter, triggering the field spell to summon the Oak onto the field. Chain that Max C. Now, if the Oak were to trigger its effect on summon, that would not be looking good. Imperm negates the Airlifter, emergency dodging the Impermanence. Damn. Summon from the deck, send the Lifter, dodge the Imperm, no longer negating the column. Hydrant's now going to be searching for a monster as the Airlifter resolves, searching for our alert. Only while we have the Hydrant, the alert allows us to then search our deck instead of just adding from the grave. We're going to add with the Oak instead of summoning because we are under max C. Grabbing a Preventer as the alert grabs a Turbulence. I mean, Rescue Ace, not just a good turn 1, this feels like a pretty good turn 2, am I right? This seems powerful. We have Turbulence being summoned, setting up unhindered. No disruption whatsoever. Now, one of those back row cards are, in fact, activatable because we have a Hydrant. We're going to use the Rescue to rescue the opponent's Diablo Star into our side of the field. Only while you control Hydrant can you do that, grabbing ourselves an original Sinful Spoils. Now, we're going to link this up into Dark. Dark could steal a Dark monster, then go into SP Little Knight. So the Charmers are a 2-card SP Little Knight banish play if that's what you want to make, or you could just go into Promethean Princess, which is probably better here. Reborn the Hydrant, further Shokan this up into Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. Now we're going to link this up into Zealantis. So what's crazy is Zealantis, Promethean, and Raging Phoenix's game. And the Zealantis triggers the Promethean triggers the Phoenix, and those 3 cards are game. Manish, the field, re-summon the field, trigger Promethean, which then triggers the Phoenix, which then gives you over 8,000 damage. Get Promethean, pop, pop, summon, Phoenix, reborn, and game. Okay, just like that. And let's get popping. Let's take out that mask and the field spell. Why not? Boom. Snake Eye, well, I mean, this is Rescue Ace even. Anyone who has access to that play could now perform lethal much easier. I think this officially, if not already, Zealantis has got to be more popular than Access Code Talker for going for game. And we actually have official analytics on that. I think we do, maybe. I'm not sure how I could decipher this to make that make sense. So average finisher rank, would that be something? This is kind of a cheesy way to look at it. So Zealantis is 28th. That only means that it's attacking for game. If I look at Access Code Talker, oh boy, it's top 2. Now, this was back from April 24th. We shall receive a new update soon with the new pack update where maybe it's going to switch places. Win rate when summoned. Maybe that's a better one. Access code's not on this. What about Zealantis? Zeal's also not on this. But look at Philanderie still on there. And we have Dark Fluid. We have the Archfiend King Calamity, the #1 card when summoned. Highest win rate, 87%. Well, SP Little Knight's not going to be there. There's no way. All right, let's hop into game number 2. Good job, Jadeo Yu-Gi-Oh. They're both rescue. Well, one Snake Eye Rescue Ace, 60 card deck versus a 41 card deck. Okay. We're now going to max C. Diablo Star doesn't activate when special summoning. Also, if you wait for it to be on the field, it all plays around a Gamma. We're going to summon a Hydran from the deck. Hydran activate to search for our Lifter. We did not use up our normal summon, so this is full combo. Lifter into emergency, or you could grab an alert. We are under max C, so we got to chill. We have to chill. I know this looks bad, but this was the right play. We have emergency, which goes into preventer, which is disruption. We have extinguish, which could pop a monster, and then that monster cannot activate for the rest of the turn. Then we have a weird situation where if the opponent activates an effect that would pop a card in the field, we could chain Airlift or summon Turbulence. Then if it witnesses the card get popped, the Turbulence then pops back. Well, you max seed me, I max C you. Emergency into Airlifter to activate Airlifter, search in our deck for alerts. Interesting that we didn't set up a preventer play well because they just ended their turn. What the heck? Like, whoa. This is super dead. I can't believe it. The Rescue Ace HQ allows an additional summon. So you could normal summon Ash, then additionally tribute summon for Turbulence, but it's level freaking 9. So that wouldn't work. But if it was a preventer, it could have worked. Otherwise, the traps do nothing unless you have a Rescue Ace on the field. So while Rescue Ace, I would say, is probably the new best deck, you could still brick horribly. Get Banishing. Ash does not work against Turbulence in any way whatsoever, but the Effect Veiler does. Hydrant grabbing a preventer. Are we going to make the SP Little Knight to play around the Effect Veiler? Maybe, possibly. Let's see. Banish the alerts, trigger the fire engine. We should probably just go for game. Just like that, lethal damage. So, Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! Just didn't really do anything for game 2, just bricked. Let's see what happens in game 3. Reinforce, Airlifter get negated, then end our turn. That sucks. Now, Airlifter could chain to a monster effect, right? The monster has to be on the field that you're chaining to in order to dodge disruption like this. So no good. But we have Imperm Veiler Ash. That hopefully that could give us another turn. I think it would. Let's see what we could do. Snake Eyes Rescue Ace, Airlifter, Imperm Negate. I don't think so, mate. No chain emergency. So now we're down to Ash and Effect Veiler. Now, we didn't have to do this, but we could have chained Airlifter to Airlifter, then chain Impermanence to our own Airlifter, summoning a Turbulence, but what are we doing there? The Turbulence is just going to be on the field. 1-for-1, Ash Negate. All right. Now we just have Effect Veiler. Do we negate the Diablo Star? Poplar trigger, equip into the back row, send Poplar, summon Diablo Star, activate Diablo Star. We're going to hold on to the Veil. For whatever they summon off of the original Sinful, send the Lifter, summon the Hydrant. The Hydrant could not get negated by Valor had we sent the Diablo Star instead. Holy moly. What the? Played right into that Veil where we could have played around it. That was interesting, huh? You know, I would feel like you could feel some delays, right? You know, you're activating, their field probably is lighting up unless Jadeo's really good at hiding the delays, which he probably is. Alert, get alert in, and it does not matter. We're still gonna grab a Turbulence from our deck. It don't matter. We're gonna banish in the Graveyard, so we wanna get the Airlifter in the Graveyard so that we could summon our Turbulence. Get Turbulence, and we forced out that early Valor to let's go. Now, it's no longer correct to say that you should save Imperm and Valor for the Turbulence because it's too easy to set up the SP Little Knight to dodge it. So you probably now, because of SP Little Knight's release, you got to use it early. Anything that could potentially enable the search or summon of Turbulence, that's when you have to Veil or Imperm. Now, what is this nonsense? Banned in the TCG, I'm pretty sure for a good reason. Gonna tribute itself plus a token to summon a Garnet, Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion, Shokan into Excel Synchro. This is where Jadeo Yu-Gi-Oh! Just walks away from the duel. Just don't even watch. We're gonna send a Jet Synchron from the deck to the grave to change the level of the Excel Synchron to then Synchro into a Baribu. What is that? We're gonna summon a Kashtira from the deck. Hold up, you're not Snake Eye Rescue Ace? You are Snake Eye Rescue Ace Kurikari? Huh? Okay, sure. Now, Herald of Arc Light, it may make it difficult for the Turbulence to be summoned because any card sent from the hand or deck is banished instead. So we gotta get a body on the field, then get it into the grave to then use the effect of Turbulence to summon itself. Now, Contain and Extinguish are not activatable until we rescue a monster from our grave. And the Baribu states that if a battle position is changed, you could target one card your opponent controls and banish it. How are you changing a battle position of a Kurikara? Well, with this little level 1. Quick effect, banish this card, target a Karakuri, changes battle position, trigger the effect, get poppin'. So we have negate, we have pop a card, we have negate, we have pop a card, and we could likely get into a preventer to flip a card face down. So we have about 5 disruptions here. Yes, we do. Let's go. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Just get out of the duel. Now, why not summon Diablo Star? We can't. Actually can't. It is illegal to even try to do so. The Turbulence cannot be sent to the grave. It would be banished, thus illegal activation. Not even an illegal activation, just an illegal play. Airlifter lift off into the Ash Negate. We have Bonfire, grab Poplar, Poplar summon, grab Original Sinful into the Hydrant. Let's speed this up. Let's go. So with this, we have Little Knight Banish, Ash Negates, Contain Negates, Extinguish get poppin', and we have the ability to get and gain access to a Preventer, which will flip face down. About 5 disruption plus a Promethean Princess. So 6 disruption that Diavolo has to play through. Let's go. We're going to max C, Ash, negate. 5 more disruption. Cross out designate, negate. Rescue our Turbulence. Okay. Finger the Turbulence. Oh my gosh. Alerts. Do we alert the Turbulence out of the graveyard? Yes, we do. So dodge the finger, add the Turbulence back. Very well done. So we have, I think we're losing one of our disruptions here because we can't really set up a preventer. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm assuming. Let's see when the emergency resolves. Summon Preventer, send Preventer, trigger Preventer, reborn a banished monster, Hydrant, finger the Preventer. We got super prevented. We cannot use Contain or Extinguish, so we lost a ton of disruption. We just have Little Knight and Promethean, and that's it. Only 2 cards we could use. Dead backer. I can't believe through the double finger that they were completely stopped on being able to have a rescue ace in the field. Now, technically, we got a bit greedy there. We could have sent the Turbulence from the hand to keep the Preventer on the field, making the back row activatable. Huh? You triggered Sunlight Wolf? Why? What? Now, oh my gosh, are you for real? Is this card activatable though? If it's summoned, add it. You cannot normal. It is active. It's actually activatable. Ain't no freaking way that just happened. Wait, it's not activatable? Wait. It says you can't summon. Cannot normal summon. You cannot normal, set, or special summon. It's oh, we already ashed this turn. Okay, correct. Thank you. Effect was already used. Otherwise, it would be activatable. Okay. Promethean Princess, get poppin'. That's one of our 2 disruption here. Get reborning. Now we just have SP Little Knight. Alrighty. Grab the Oak. We're gonna send the Poplar, come forward Diablo Star, on summon, activate to set up into the back row our Subversion. We're gonna force out the Little Knight activation, banishing itself plus Promethean, opening up our field in main phase 1. Are we going to regret this? Oh my gosh, Shadow, you are crazy. What? Flameburst Dragon, we have 6,300 damage. We have Hida reborn from the opposing player's grave. Let's speed this up. 51, 60, 50, reborn, 7850. We're almost 8,000, 7850, and that's game. 10,850 damage. But in the end phase, we're gonna gain back our Promethean Princess and Little Knight. Damn. Did we still have game if we banished the Diablo Star instead? Banish Diablo Star, Little Knight, keep Promethean. They probably still had game, right? Flameburst, push it back, game. Ash, we're not gonna Ash on Ash. I do not believe in that play. Poplar, come forth and summon, activate the Poplar, searching for our Divine Temple. Further linking this up in a Linkariba, holding that Ash for the Ash effect of summoning from the deck. Poplar into the back row we go. We got Divine Temple, just like that. Wanted Seeker, grabbing the Diablo Star here. This is the power of playing Snake Eye Rescue Ace, though, where you are able to brute force through interruptions and disruptions, because you have so many extension plays. If anything goes wrong here, we have the emergency follow-up. Original Sinful, send the field spell, get negated by the Ash Blossom. Negate from summoning a level 1 fire from the deck. We have used up our normal summon already. Wanted Seeker, return back in the deck to draw 1. We got the Rescue Ace HQ. Emergency summoning a Turbulence here. Turbulence being sent to the graveyard off of that summon, as we then Shokan into Hida. So why did we do that? Well, Promethean Princess is gonna reborn the Turbulence. We're good, we're great. Taking the Ash, Shokan into Promethean. And this is what I was talking about, the higher power ceiling. We're brute forcing through disruption and interruption because we are Snake Eye and Rescue Ace at the cost of lowered consistency. But how much lower is the consistency even? Maybe this actually might be, I'm probably wrong, this might be the better way to play the deck. I would like to further explore it. I will reserve my judgment for MCS Day on Saturday, $1,000. Flameburst back to our hand. Shokan into the Heat Soul. Draw a card every turn. Drawing into an Ash. Oh my gosh, this is so over. Further linking off into an Apollo USA. Tons of disruption. We're gonna have to play under Max C. There's gonna be a Preventer to flip. The Extinguish to pop, Contain to negate, Promethean, I should say Apollo to negate, and then the Ash to negate. We have 6 disruptions on top of the Promethean in the grave. That's 7 disruptions. Plus Maxi. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Ain't no way. Apollo. Negate. 6 more. 6 more that came from. 6 disruptions versus 4 cards in the hand. I'm pretty sure the math is in favor of Shadow winning this. Reborn the Hydrants. I think we lost access to Preventer, though, so we're now down to 5 disruption. Whoa, cross out Designate. Negate that Maxi. I didn't even need that. That's fine. You're now down to 3 cards in your hand to my 5 disruptions. Yep. Poplar, do we negate with the Apollo? Yes, we do. Now down to 4. Only 4 ways we could disrupt you. Ash, Extinguish, Contain, and Promethean. Linkaribo is now here. Banned in the TCG. Trigger Poplar, equip into the back row. As we now bonfire it up. Bonfire into Poplar, trigger Poplar, summon from the hand. We already used the search effect as we seek into nothing as the Ash negates. Now down to 3. If we were to make a Hida, Promethean will pop you. Yep. Or SP Little Knight. Little Knight it up. Little Knight on summon will banish. So how are we going to work this out? Little Knight, Promethean chain. If you chain Little Knight to Promethean, the contain will contain all of your effects, negating every single one. So you are in a really bad position. We're going to do it anyway because like this is not a misplay. It's just, we know we already lost. We know. Contain, negate, 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 negate the effect, the second effect, the first effect, fully negated, you're out. Searching for Diablo Star with Seeker, sending Nibiru to come forth and summon our Diablo Star. We are on summon number 1. Nibiru is waiting. Can we make plays under the Nibiru? Can we set up an Apollo USA, set up a Divine Temple plus a back row Flame Burge? Trigger the Poplar, we're on summon number 3. Come to me, Divine Temple it up, set up into the back row our Flame Burge. Now we link this up into Link Karibo. And now if we whip out Nibiru, that's going to trigger the field spell to summon the back row Flame Burge. Summoner number 5 is about to happen. Seeker, return back in the deck to randomly draw 1. Ash, send Poplar to summon from the deck. Flame Burge, and just like that, we are now in the Nibiru zone. Bonfire, add Oak. Normal summon our Oak. What is good? Reborn from the grave. Shokan into a fat Apollo USA. You need Nibiru plus Imperm, Nibiru plus Valor. You don't got it. Even Nibiru plus Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre could possibly become more popular due to the King Sarcophagus, which unfortunately we're not seeing as much as I would have liked to see within the top 16. Negate with Apollo. I'm thinking Horus will maybe just be prevalent within tier limit in tournaments. Outside of that, I'm not so much sure on what's going to happen. Hitting them with that early Maxi Airlifter, come to me, triggering the field spell. So if you want to use the field spell on Apollo, you can't. You absolutely can't. One is you're going to have to pass on the field, then negate. You then can't add the field spell on top of the Apollo. So we're choosing, instead of negating, let's get that Flame Burge out. Come to us, rescue. Now we're going to, on resolution of adding with the toggle on, you need to have that toggle on to do this, to make our SP Little Knight. Little Knight on summon activates. Now we're chain link blocking the Little Knight. From what? What am I talking about? The Airlifter would dodge the effect of Little Knight to summon a Turbulence in the hand, which is no longer possible because of the Flame Burge blocking. You mess up the chain order, you mess up the play, there will be a Turbulence on the field. Now there won't. Emergency is going to dodge the banish of the SP Little Knight. So come forth and summon Hydrant. Hydrant is here. We still have the second effect of Little Knight. The secondary effect of, in response to the opponent's effect, to banish 2 monsters on the field. We are going to rescue the Poplar from the opponent's graveyard. SP Little Knight is going to banish herself plus the Hydrant, and it's going through. Banished until the end phase. We also have 3 more negates on the Apollo USA, plus an effect Valor. Quadra Disruption. Oh my gosh. And just like that. Right? Pure Snake Eyes? Pure Snake Eyes defeating Snake Eye Rescue Ace. Wait, I forget. Did Diavolo summon any Rescue Ace? My brain is so jumbled, I don't even know. Who's Rescue Acing? Who's Snake Eyes? It will be in the comments or the description. Let's go. Kid Art's gonna try Horus with Thundra. Okay. Shifter against Rescue Ace. Oh my gosh. And we're gonna toss in a Maxi to it. We do have our Triple Tactics talent activatable based off of that. And oh boy, we did not have another Rescue Ace in the hand to send to the grave, which of course got banished here. So otherwise, had we had another Rescue Ace in the hand, we would have been fine. We would have just Turbulence set up the back row if we were to not get disrupted by something like a Gamma. Gamma negate the Hydrant, wipe it out. This is just a sweep. We're sweeping them. The Imperm is the only thing activatable here. Contain is dead. Off the top of the deck, we have to remember our cards are also getting banished. So Lily can't perform an Xyz summon with the Grave if it is negated. We're getting super negated through the Impermanence, both effects negated. The second effect was already not going to be usable, as we said. We're just going to end the turn, setting up a Happy. Happy can protect us from effect destruction only. And that's all it's going to do. Otherwise, it's just a bait. And because we survived the D-Shifter turn, as Purrely was not able to set up a good follow-up play, looks like we now win. We got the original Sinful with no way to disrupt it. Let's speed this up, show us the way, show us the play. Let's go. Preventer and the Field Spell interact with our banished cards. We have Little Knight getting rid of the Happy Memory. So it did bait them from activating an early Little Knight, thus you're not able to attack directly. So it worked out. Very nicely done. And in the TCG, for some weird reason, I mean, it's a reason I fully understand why, this Ghost Mourner play actually does not work. Ghost Mourner would be Chainlink 1, and the Lily would be Chainlink 2. Pretty cool. But thankfully, this is Master Duel rules, where the trigger priority in the hand, I believe, makes more sense. I'm not trying to be controversial here. Tell me if this sounds stupid or correct. With the trigger priority of TCG being in the hand, being a higher priority, that's, to me, is like a Torrential Tribute having trigger priority and not a quick effect. So like on summon, you would have the priority to Torrential before quick effects. I don't like that. Obviously that's not how it works, but that's what it feels like when you could activate these cards from your hand with trigger priority. All right, it's okay. I don't play TCG, so it's not my problem. Let's go. It's the fact that a hidden card has trigger priority instead of quick effects like I believe it should. Get Promethean. And I think it would be disruptive to regular play. You have to continually ask your opponent, do you have a trigger in your hand? Do you have a trigger in your hand? I think very often you're going to activate a quick effect and then your opponent's going to be like, hold up, I had a trigger. Pot of P. Is it correct to ash a Pot of P? I mean, they're digging for 6 cards. I would assume among 6 cards, they're getting exactly what they want. But, I mean, you know you're playing against Purrely, so maybe it's still better to negate the My Friend Purrely, hold it for that. Lily it up, Ghost Mourner, negate. Now, by the way, in TCG, this works exactly as it does here. This is correct. The Ghost Mourner is only messed up in the TCG if you're using it on your own turn. So this would be happening normally, as it does for both versions of the game. Delicious, summoning our Purrely. Purrely activate on summon, reveal the top 3. Purrely street it up. Thank you very much. I'm trying to think, Gia, is this correct? When we played TCG back in the day, we played in cash tournaments more than Konami-sanctioned events? I think so. If you don't count weekly locals, which of course I would be banned from, we played in cash events more. So if I really cared for some reason, I could just put on a disguise, or probably not even needed, and just join cash events. Yeah, because if you do a cash event, Konami already like bans that store from being Konami sanctioned. I mean, people do it anyway, or people do box tournaments, boxes. Bonfire. Into Poplar, we have the Little Knight Chain Banish in response to a monster or an opponent's card activating in any way whatsoever. Just like that, banish me, banish you. Manish. Take my glasses off. I think that would work, actually. Yes. Original Sinful, send the Moonlit, summon for the deck, Hydrant. I wish I could even have the option to play locals Yu-Gi-Oh! I refuse to play the physical card game for just traveling. If I don't have a popular local place to play, which there are none within my area, it used to be popular back in the day, it's now dead, then I just don't want to play. Little Knight on summon, banishing that Delicious. Thus, I think Delicious is now semi-limited, right? No, it's still limited to 1. So that Delicious is gone from the game. We're not going to be able to make a plump. Just like that. Turbulence for game. Justinian with the 2-0 victory. Am I still banned? I'm banned as long as I keep on leaking. So you tell me. Let's get to it. Let's pop off. Sending for the Diablo Star to come forth and summon. Activate to set up from the deck for an original Sinful we already have. So this is a bait negate. I cannot believe it, mate. What the... Let's go, let's go. Lift off into the opponent chaining an impulse to summon a preventer from the deck. We're also going to contain, negate the lifter. Negate, as we still have a preventer to flip, an extinguish to pop, a little knight to banish. We have triple disruption. Bonfire, adding the Poplar, activate the Poplar to come forth and summon itself onto the field here. Little Knight, chain, banish the Poplar, off the field you go. You still have 1-for-1, which could discard Ash to summon an Ash. We have Extinguish and Preventer. We added Original Sinful. I'm thinking maybe on Resolution, we could have Preventer flip down the Lifter, but we don't know that they did not have a Rescue Ace in the hand where the Airlifter could chain to the Preventer, but didn't we contain it? I think we contained it, so, but would that feel wasteful? Oak, come forth. We're now going to get flipping down. Flip that Oak face down. We now have Extinguish as our only form of disruption. Extinguish the Hydrant right then and there before they could get out another Rescue Ace, making the Hydrant untargetable. Very well done. Let's hop into game number 2. Ash on summon, activate, grabbing the Poplar, holding on to the opposing Ash for what would we want to even negate. We're going to chain Maxi to the activation of Poplar to summon. Now, I believe it is correct to grab the Divine Temple, make a Masquerina, then end. So they're going to draw 2, but you have Masquerina and Flameburst. Impulse going to be summoning a monster from the deck in response to a monster effect activating on the fields. Got the Fire Hydrant. Oh boy, the Fire Engine. Yeah, I guess because of that, maybe we don't make the play I was talking about. We just end. Just push it back. If we were to special summon a Masquerina, the Fire Engine would trigger, summon from the deck an Airlifter, and then the next turn would be so immensely more powerful to get to draw 2 off Maxi and then search with the Airlifter, having 2 bodies on the field. No good. I mean, we're just really screwed by what happened. Maxi plus Impulse was crazy. Bonfire it up. All we have is, we have Valor and Droplet. Okay, so it's not all we have. We got something, a little something. Valor, negate the Poplar. Now, when is the most opportune moment to whip out that Droplet? The SP Little Knight in Turbulence play cannot stop Droplet. You just have to send a monster, and then you're good. So maybe we wait. But if by the time they summon an SP Little Knight, the Little Knight's going to banish the Droplet, forcing its activation before they even get a Turbulence out on the field, possibly. And we could just make a Nightmare Phoenix instead. Nightmare Phoenix to add special summon back a banished monster, discarding our effect Valor, forcing out the use of the Droplet, sending our entire field to negate the Phoenix. Phoenix also was going to draw a card. Negate. Okay. We do have Airlifter, though. Get airlifted. Opponent activates a monster effect on the field. Special summon Turbulence. Okay. We're good, right? Are we? 6,100. We have Hida. When do we activate Lifter? When do we lift off? We gotta be careful about it. 4550. Add the Hydrant. They already used up a normal summon. Shokan into Apollo USA, which will now negate our Airlifter play. Emergency. Summon for the deck Turbulence. Gotta be summoned into defense. Sending the Hydrant from the hand. Set up into the back row. And, you know, at least we're not getting lethaled. That's pretty good. This is fine. Not really, though. It's like a pseudo-lethal. They're setting up so much disruption, we may as well just surrender. To battle we go. 2,400 direct. We didn't SP Little Knight banish, so we get that direct attack. They have the Promethean, negate, pop, preventer, flip, negate, negate, negate. We have about 8 it doesn't look like it, but there's 8 disruptions. Reborn the Hydrants. It's probably now 7, because I don't think we can get to the preventer. Contain, get contain in. Then we got like more negate, negate, pop, negate, negate. Just like that, Anderson advancing to the grand finale with pure rescue ace. Game 1. Diavolo. How do I say it, Gia? Davalo versus Gargolo. Hajime. Maxi on top of this. I love Maxi keeping combo decks in check, just like they should. Reinforce into the Impulse. So in response to the Baron de Flor Masquerena activating, we're going to chain Impulse to summon a body from the deck. Let's say the Baron de Flor activates to negate and destroy Poplar. You chain summon a Turbulence, which will then trigger off of the destruction of the Poplar to pop another card in the field. Subversion. Let's go. Impulse chain to the Masquerena to summon from the deck. Baron de Flor, negate. What are we doing with the Masquerena? Are we making an SP Little Knight instead of Apollo USA? Yes, we are, because of the Subversion. Apollo gets pushed into the back row. Subversion will, not do so well against SP Little Knight. And just like that, that was enough to surrender. Unbelievable. The Subversion would have been great, but now Little Knight is a thing. Not only supporting Rescue Ace, but also Snake Eye greatly benefiting from it. Any deck that can make Masquerena easily greatly benefits from the Little Knight. Let's get to it. We're going to open up with a Wanted Seeker. Let's get searching. Uh-oh. We now get Nibiru. I've been talking about this. I've been seeing every Rescue Ace player play around Imperm, but play into Nibiru. So if you're sick of your Impermanence no longer working, just play Nibiru. But then they're going to start playing around Nibiru, then Imperm will be good. Just play both. Little Knight banishing our Diablo Star. Sure. Banish. This is it. Thoughts on the new Xyz Union cards? I think I want to react to those in a bit, maybe. We're going to chain Little Knight to the Nibiru, banishing our Turbulence, but we didn't get to activate it to set up the 4 back row cards. Emergency from the deck, Preventer. Just like, oh my gosh, this still plays around it. I mean, this is not the first time we saw this. We also saw this earlier. So you Little Knight with Turbulence, hold on to Emergency, that fully plays around Impermanence, and then if they have Nibiru, you then Emergency and a Preventer, reborn the banished Turbulence, so it does play around both if you have Emergency. Which we did see this play, I think, within the top 16. Set up the 4, just like that, and the Nibiru doesn't summon at all. It had nothing to tribute. Contain, setting itself into the back row. We have, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. The Little Knight banish, Contain negates. We have a way to summon Preventer to flip face down. We have Extinguish to pop. We have Veiler to negate, 6 disruptions. There's no Promethean Princess, so only 6. Let's go. Preventer get Preventin, send Preventer. Preventer trigger to summon the Hydrant onto the field, giving our back row cards even more disruptive qualities to their effects. Bonfire searching for the Poplar, trigger the Poplar. Can we play through 6 though? I don't think so. Not looking good. Contain the Poplar. Can't use it with the extra deck. It is fully negated. It cannot attack over the Little Knight, which it would love to do right now. At 5 disruption, what do we got? Veiler, negate. Now, it could still attack over the Little Knight. It could still link off if we want to. What do? We leave, we know. Like, the only thing hidden is another Veiler, and we lose even without that other Veiler. I think some tournament players in our tournament, they do that. They keep on switching their account for new decks, the new top tier decks. They did that with Duel Links. That was very popular in Duel Links to ditch an account once the deck got banned or nerfed, and then they make a new account. Snake Eye Ash. Let me say this. This is how funny this was. We used to do 2-deck tournaments. We had players play game 1 on one account, then play game 2 on a second account. They'd be like, hold on, let me log out into my new account, because that's how expensive decks were, that they had to have multiple accounts dedicated to each deck type. All right, let's keep on going. Diablo Star setting up the original Sinful. And then Konami caught players giving their accounts to people in Turkey to buy packs for cheaper, so they banned them all. Shokan into Linkuriboh. Elf plus Masquerena plus the ability to go into SP Little Knight. Let's see some cool plays. We're going to maxi right away within the draw phase. We can't use the other Gamma since the Psy frame is banished. We're going to bonfire it up, grabbing our Poplar. Triggering the Poplar to come forth and summon. Triple Tactics talent is a really good counter to the Masquerena. And I showcased in my video what happens when you activate Triple Tactics talent, they chain Masquerena, summon an SP Little Knight, which maybe we're going to see. Right now, right? Do it. Add back the Kurikara. Oh no, we're not going to see it. Shokan into Little Knight. Little Knight is untargetable. On summon, banish that Poplar off the field, and is protected by the Elf. And if something bad were to happen to the Little Knight where it goes to the graveyard, the Elf could then reborn it. And it still gets its secondary effect of being able to banish 2 cards in the field. Ash, Poplar, we're going to be double searching. Searching a Poplar, which we could summon onto the field. Poplar searching for a Subversion alongside the Kurikara is going to be good follow-up. We are now going to be dodging the Triple Tactics talent, banishing ourselves plus the Ash until the end phase here. Come to me, your Elf. You give back the Elf, it's no longer in the extra monster zone. We're going to send it to the grave to summon from the deck. Our Hydrant. We're doing this all under Max C, by the way. Normal summon our Lifter, lift off into an alert, alert into a Turbulence. Come to me. Very nice, very nice. Further linking this up to get enough Rescue Ace cards in the grave so that we can banish to even summon that Turbulence. Now, through all these draws, Ash would not stop this. You need a Veiler, and even Impermanence is not going to be usable because you got bodies on the field. So you could almost safely take the Maxi check just to resolve a Turbulence, then stop. But we're doing more. Are we trying to go for lethal? What are we doing? We are going to be making a Promethean Princess. Even if we wipe out the field and we have, let's say, an Access Code Talker, it can't be reduced by the Impermanence because of the field spell blocking the Imperm. We're full YOLOing until they draw Nibiru. And I don't see Nibiru anywhere. Linkuriboh come forth, which can reduce at least one of the attacks to 0. Further linking this up into a Nightmare Phoenix. We're not gonna pop that, are we? Bro, what? Okay. Celine Navida. What did we gain from popping that? What did we wanted a monster in the graveyard? What did we discard? We discard Veiler? Was that the only spellcaster we had access to? I guess so. We had no other spellcaster, no Diablo Star. I mean, what did I just say? The Access Code Talker can't be reduced by Impermanence because of the field spell, but he drew into a Nibiru anyway. Tribute the field. We have only 14 cards in our hand. Now 15. Little Knight resolving our cards back onto the field. Emergency is needed, otherwise the Contain and Extinguish cannot be used. And the Little Knight could help dodge the Extinguish or Contain. Summon Preventer, activate Preventer to then trigger and summon our Airlifter, searching for a Rescue Ace HQ for the next turn. Diabolo is not close to getting decked out, but we knew, this is public knowledge, that this was added back to the hand. So if we very much needed a Rescue Ace in the field to even activate the Contain or Extinct, I mean, let's be real. Everyone knows the duel's already over, but if we still wanted to min-max our duel, even under this circumstance of a definitive loss, we would not activate our monster that's on the field because of the Kurikara, which was public knowledge. Subversion get pushing. And we're done. But all's well. I mean, we know it's over. I guess, should we have taken that Maxi challenge if they did not Nibiru you, if you did not have to pop the field spell, then I think you could have won. Good job, Diavolo. Welcome to the grand finale. It all comes down to this. Rescue Ace versus Snake Eye. Snake Eye currently is the best deck in Master Duel, but a brand new card just came out, being SP Little Knight, is benefiting Rescue Ace more so than many other decks because it protects your main Turbulence play. Thus, many people like myself are believing that this may be the new best deck to dethrone Snake Eyes. Is that true? Let's find out. Are you ready? Best of 3 grand finale. We also have a $1,000 tournament, which should be happening actually today. So today, right now, the $1,000 tournament. Are you ready? Hajime. 1 card Ash, 1 Valor to negate, but we got triple tactics talent mate to further draw some more cards. Now, I mean, is it correct to draw here? We have Nibiru, Valor. Do we look at the hand to ensure that our Valor and Nibiru will definitely be able to deal with their fields? Or we just go for that YOLO draw too? Draw into a Seeker, draw into a Bonfire, draw into a Diablo Star. There's so many cards we could draw into. I feel like drawing is worth it. We're going for that draw too. We're making the big play. Of course, we drew into 1 of 3 Bonfire. Interesting field. What the heck is this? Huh? Well, the Little Knight is going to be able to chain banish one of your own monsters plus an opponent's monster. And the Masquerena is just stuck in the back row. She can't get out. And then we have Impermanence, Valor, Nibiru, and SP Little Knight plus Promethean. So it's still 5 disruption. Let's go. Grab an Impulse, which could chain to the SP Little Knight to summon a body from the deck. Poplar, activate. Imperm, negate. Impulse cannot chain to the Poplar. Nicely done. Holding on to Emergency. Hold on to it. It's good for making big plays to dodge disruption. Poplar trigger, equip itself into the back row. Activate the Emergency. Summon from the deck. We're now down to 4 disruption, by the way. Airlifter, lift off, activate, and the Valor will in fact negate. Now, had we had a Rescue Ace in the hand, it still would not be activatable to dodge the Valor because it has to be a body on the field activating. Now, we do have Extinguish and Contain activatable here, so this gives us a whopping double disruption. We can Contain negate, and we can Extinguish get poppin'. Is that enough? This is not looking good for Rescue Ace. Ash on summon, searching for that Poplar, activate the Poplar, trigger onto the fields. Trigger again, grabbing ourselves a Subversion, which is gonna force out the Contain and Extinguish right here, right now. We have to activate it because it's the last time to do so. We gotta do it. Contain the Ash from summoning from the deck. Linkuriboh is just gonna dodge that Contain anyway, okay? And then the Extinguish is going to pop the Raging Phoenix. Thus, then, the Lifter gets pushed into the back row, and what we're left with is just a Linkuriboh and nothing else. We got Hida to steal a fire monster from the opponent's graveyard, triggering the Poplar to then equip the Flame version of the back row. Hida reborn that Impulse, discard for the Jet Synchron, come forth. As we then further link all of this up into a Zealantis. Zealantis banishing the entire field. This is lethal. Like, that's it. That's it. You just need Zealantis and another fire. You win. It used to be you needed more, but now this is all you need. Zealantis plus another fire equals 8,000 damage because the Raging Phoenix gets triggered off of the Promethean. The Promethean needing a fire to get triggered herself. So trigger into lethal damage. This is not needed. This is BM. Not cool. Over 8,000 damage just like that. Finish him. Okay. 1 Ash versus 1 Bonfire. Did not negate the Bonfire. What are we holding that Ash for? Poplar get triggered, come forth and summon itself onto the field. We're going to grab the original Sinful, link this up into Linkuriboh, banned in the TCG KEKW. Poplar equipping itself into the back row. Original Sinful, send Poplar to summon from the deck. Nothing. You are summoning nothing from the deck. We're going to chain Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. And now that I'm thinking about it, ashing on the bonfire would have been not so good. Yeah, I mean, this worked out. This played around a follow-up Diablo Star. Hold it for the Original Sinful. What are we going to do with Emergency? We're discarding that trash. Wow. One well-timed ash. Had we ashed the bonfire, we still could have cooked. We still had the full play. So learn from this duel in the grand finale. Hold the ash. I was reading from YCS top players in the TCG. They all swore up and down that negating the bonfire was the correct thing to do. But I mean, the follow-up Diablo Star proves otherwise. And we have what? We have Diablo Star, Diablo Star, Diablo Star, Seeker, Seeker. 5-card follow-up completely invalidates the ash. Let's go. And now we got our SP Little Knight as our only real play, banishing the opposing ash from the opponent's graveyard. Now with that, our disruptions, we still have plentiful amount of ways to disrupt the opponent through the Veiler, Ash, and the Little Knight could chain banish. Now, the Maxi will probably get fingered, as something else will also get fingered, and it's important to note that the 1-for-1 must send a monster. Let's go. Ash, Veiler, Little Knight. We got 3. Ash negate. Call by the Gravemate. Finger the Ash. Negate. Chain Maxi. Finger the Maxi. Negate. And then we have Triple Tactics talent to draw 2. Let's do it. Negated. Negate. And we have Veiler and Little Knight. Okay, 2 disruption. 2/2/2. Ash. Veil. Negate. Double negate. We negate the secondary effect of summon from the deck. And now we just have Little Knight. Nothing else. We're going for that draw 2 play. Come to me. Original Sinful, which has not been activated yet. First, we're going to Dark. Okay. That's it. That's it. How do you out the Little Knight? That's it. That's it. That's it. Outed. And then you steal it. Oh my, that's like, just attack over it, steal it main phase 2, even better. That's it. Wait, we took a Diablo Star instead. We don't even want your Little Knight. Original Sinful, send Diablo Star, pop off into the Oak. Oh my gosh, that ended everything. Ain't no way. Even through Double Finger, Double Finger did help us. That's crazy. We had about, 4 disruptions. Let's speed this up. Reborn the Ash, Reborn the Oak, Reborn the Flameburst. We're in main phase 2, by the way. Raging Phoenix into our own SP Little Knight. On summon, banishing the Original Sinful. In the opposing player's graveyard, we have nothing activatable, nothing. And what does Diabolo have? They have Little Knight. They have Promethean Princess. So I think, not looking good. Hydrant. Can't really do anything to the Hydrant. It prevents her. Banishing to summon the Preventer. We're not going to chain Little Knight to banish the Hydrant. We're going to use Promethean Princess. Chaining the Preventer to then flip down the Flameburst. Chaining the Flameburst to summon the Diablo Star from our back row. Okay, sure. Flip down, you still get popped. Is there a banish card that you could summon? There is not. Diablo Star trigger, Flameburst trigger, Hydrant has already activated. Oh boy. I can't believe it. Snake Eyes has 2-0'd Rescue Ace in the grand finale. Does this mean that Rescue Ace is still, in fact, the best deck? Link Karibo, Tribute the Hydrant. Okay. Gia, can you have the top cut separate the Snake Eye Rescue Ace? Ideally, hopefully, if not, we could do it on the next ones. Link Karibo swinging itself into open up the field for an ideal play of increasing the chance for the opponent to disconnect. Yes, that was correct. Good job, Anderson. Summon from the deck, our Flameburst, Reborn from the Grave. That is that not the coolest animation? I cannot believe it. It just like that. Lethal damage. Yes. Yes. Gia, turn on the thing for me, please. All right. All right. New pack day, and Rescue Ace absolutely dominated the top cut getting in there. That is wild, all because of SP Little Knight being the card that benefits Rescue Ace the most. And Purrely has a pretty good matchup against Rescue Ace, giving you the targeting protection, and Snake Eye is just a good deck. So everything else is miscellaneous, just randomly in there. I'm curious to see how many decks are playing Horus. So for example, I could check, first could see the deck list here, but if I go on over to the top decks page, let's do this. Let's do last 7 days, tournaments, meta weekly, and I'll type in Horus. So the Horus engine in the top 16, one deck in the top 16. Okay, what about Little Knight? Little Knights? That's almost every deck. I think that's maybe like one deck was not playing it. Little Knight, of course, everywhere. If I just click new cards, tournament, and then these are all the decks with new cards. So pretty much all of them just playing Little Knight. All right, so let's look at the top deck list and let's see what's good. So starting off with Tier Limit. Boda in the top 16, congratulations to you, using the new Horus engine. And I'm curious how many other people are even playing the Horus engine besides Tier Limit. A lot of people are worried that this is not good against Max C. So you all tell me your experience against the deck. Does it seem powerful when you're playing against the engine, or does Max C just crush it? So good job, Boda. We then have Branded Despia. I don't think anything new from Branded Despia, top 16. Latromi, congratulations to you. So looking good, nothing different in the extra. Not even playing SP Little Knight, as Branded Despia is not able to. If you summon Little Knight before or after Branded Fusion, then you just don't get to Branded Fusion. You can't. It's the turn this card's act, not the rest of the turn. It just is turned off. What else we have here? We have Drytron. I don't know why this was in the top cut. It just, why now? Because the Vandy Ruler, maybe? Your opponent can't special summon monsters? That is wild. So good job, Solja, for doing well with this. Using SP Little Knight as your new card and nothing else. Just, do you have a history of playing this deck or something? I'm going to open up your profile. Now, we have Bystial Runic. Bystial Runic, anything new in the main deck? Nothing new. We do have the SP Little Knight. I do see a lot of people having the Runic engine compete with Horus. Now, I think where Maxi is involved, the Runic cards are probably a lot better than the Horus engine, but I'm excited to try out the decks myself. I'm most excited to play Memento, which did not get top 16. We then have Salamangreat. I'm also very excited to play this, especially with the Horse Prince. Being able to use the Horse Prince to summon from the deck in Ash Blossom. Wait, where's your? There's Ash. I'm like, you're not playing Ash? Ash Blossom or Coda Soul. So one of these two cards being summoned to the deck is important. And then you return it back to the hand with the Mirage Stalio, the Ash, or the Wolf. So that's good. Good job. Also playing some other new cards. And the Salamangreat Weasel is good for playing around Nibiru. I wish I could show you, but my internet is not doing too well right now. But we'll probably go back to that. We then have Dragon Link. Net Virus with Dragon Link. Anything in the main deck, I thought if any deck would be benefiting from Horus, that maybe Dragon Link would find a way to play the Horus cards or what. So there's the extra deck. There is the main. Thank you, Net Virus. Let's hop on over to Purrely. Anything new at Purrely? They're playing SP Little Knight, of course, just as they should. They got the targeting protection from the Rescue Ace Mad Lads. And then we have Ahmed AWD for the top 16. Very similar to the other deck list here. Looking good. Good job. And then we have Snake Eye. First place, Diavolo. Diavolo, first place, standard Snake Eyes, but now we have Little Knight and also the Raging Phoenix, which this really is a big deal. The Raging Phoenix, now all you need for lethal damage is one Zealantis and one other fire monster. You generally needed a Flame Burge alongside it, but now with that one other fire monster, that's going to allow you to summon the Promethean, which will then allow you to summon the Raging Phoenix, and then Phoenix, Promethean, and Zealantis. That's game. Plus pop 2 cards on the field, pop 2 cards, lethal damage. So turn 2 OTKs are happening a lot more likely. That's a big deal. And then Fictinium. Fictinium is using pure Snake Eyes, same thing. Little Knight and the Raging Phoenix. Good job, Fictinium. Appreciate both of you doing well with Snake Eyes. And then we have Rescue Ace. Now, starting off with pure Rescue Ace, second place, Anderson Strife. Looking good, of course, using the Raging Phoenix play. Double SP Little Knight is going to be the way. And I'm not so sure how mandatory Impulse is. Impulse could be good against Purrely. It could turn off the big Purrely, but I would maybe want to drop the cards down to lower than 44. I don't really like playing over 40. I know playing more than 44 does decrease your chance of drawing cards like Extinguish and Contain, so that could be good. So good job, Anderson Strife. Terra Mayor. This is quite interesting. We even have, what the heck, the Baribu is in the deck. Oh my gosh. So long deck list, big deck list, take a screenshot of that, all as well. Very good. And then there's the extra deck. And then we have Gargolo, another 60 card Snake Eye. Wait, this is pure. This is actually pure Rescue Ace. This is not Snake Eye. I thought playing 60 cards meant you'd be playing Snake Eye with it. So, all right, pure without the Snake Eyes. And here is the extra deck separately being shown there. Good job. And then Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing pure Rescue Ace. So looking good there. Good job, Judeo. And then we have Shadow. Shadow playing Snake Eye, 52 Snake Eye Rescue Ace. So I do definitely want to separate the deck list. Main deck in the Phantasme, which is really good against Snake Eye. And then we have the extra deck there. So good job. Triple Enemy Controller. That's great. Take control, dodge disruption. Really good for going second. And then we have UMCF with Snake Eye Rescue Ace. Again, mixing up both decks. Maybe Rescue Ace should not be taking credit for this top, so we'll separate that. There's the extra deck, double SP Little Knight. Very well done. And I think those are all the decks, yes? And who was I opening up? Soldier. Wow, Soldier, you don't have a history of playing Drytron and you just wham bam, thank you ma'am, Drytron, okay. And then the Weasel. The Weasel with Salamangreat. On the Salamangreat deck type page, there's gonna be combos of anti-Nibiru if you wanna play around Nibiru. You basically make your full play. Then if they Nibiru you, you follow up with the Weasel to special summon onto the field, and then you use the effect to summon a monster on the opponent's field to then reborn your Promethean Princess playing around the Nibiru. So make sure you check that out. Go on over to the Salamangreat page. And just like that, we are done. Thank you for watching. We are doing the $1,000 tournament today or the next day, whenever it's happening, or the video will be out the next day. We are out.